Az made this live stream. It was 3 weeks ago, I guess now. It says Az turns 50, birthday bash with guests, and you can kind of see the thumbnail he made for himself. But it was weird watching this video, or seeing this video pop up in my feed. I didn't click on it just because I always kind of assumed that Az wasn't 50 years old. I didn't know how old he was. It's not that he doesn't look 50, because he does. It's just that the way he behaves, I assumed that he was kind of like maybe in his 30s, but that he was just kind of aging a little poorly. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't take care of himself. That's kind of what I thought. I assumed he's probably 35, but it just looks a lot older because he's got all these pounds on him. And I kind of assumed the same about Nerdrotic too. Just in the back of my head, just because, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird when you're a kid. You'll see these YouTubers, like when I was a kid, it was people like Ryan Higa or Smosh or PewDiePie. Those were like the real big popular guys. And there were a lot of kids, where they said, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, or I want to be like them. They try making videos and they thought it was funny. And so, yeah, as a kid, you kind of see that, and you sort of can idealize these people, and you say, I want to grow up to be like them. But then you become an adult and you see the rest of the YouTubers, people like Az, and you just go, really? Like, you're 50 now? Like, you see Az, he's 50 years old, and the biggest accomplishment that he's had, on his whole on his whole YouTube channel, really, when you think about it, I mean, is this rant that he had.
Get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Pronouns! Gender ambiguity!
Yeah, like that is his, his biggest accomplishment, is that rant. I just kind of assumed he was in his 30s and his 20s. And you look at that and you're like, really? Like in 50 years, and, Az is old enough to be my dad. And it's like, I could be him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could grow up to be that guy, It's just this weird thought. Like, it makes you basically hate the internet in a way. Like you just look at it and you go, no, like that isn't what I want to grow up to be. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Kid? But anyway, it was a Disney film, right? And there's this little boy, and he goes back, and he basically, that man, he lives a very sad life where all he does is he works all day. He does have a big house, but he's kind of a jerk and nobody likes him. And then he gets visited by his 8-year-old self, and his 8-year-old self looks at his big house. And he looks at, like, all the things that Bruce Willis has accomplished, which to Bruce Willis seem impressive, but he's just like, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you're just alone, you're angry, nobody likes you, your dad doesn't like you, you don't talk to your niece, like nobody likes you, and you're just living alone. And then he starts to cry, his 8-year-old self, and he's like, I grow up to be a loser, And it's just kind of crazy to look at that, and maybe Az does have a good relationship with, like, his mom or his niece or whatever, but it's just kind of like bizarre, just to think, like, in a few years, this could be me. And I saw this really interesting post, which was made by The Quartering like a few weeks ago, where he said, my baby Oni, so it's just like this dog. One time I was driving to a park, okay, and I saw this table lined up, and there were all these dogs sitting at the table with these birthday party hats, and there was this giant cake. And so it was like these lesbians, like a whole bunch of lesbians, where they were celebrating their dog's birthday. And they brought, like, they made a cake for it and all these things. And yeah, they were just celebrating, like, the dog's birthday. And, I've known people where they've kind of done that and they were trying to be a little funny, but the crazy part is like all of them were lesbians, like they actually thought like the dog was their kid. You see what I'm saying? Like, these people, they see the kid, they see these dogs like as their children, like literally, and so, yeah, there are people where they'll kind of affectionately call their dogs like my kid, or whatever. But kind of the weird thing is here, let me show you guys this. The quartering, he doesn't actually, have kids. And so he's living like the same way lesbians do. Like 50-year-old lesbians, 60-year-old lesbians, 40-year-old lesbians, they live the same way. It's just like them, their partner, and a dog. And so this guy, he's called That's 80s Guy. He said, yeah, dude, you're a dog owner. That's not a baby. No hate. I am a dog owner. But when you have a real baby, it's totally different, sir. And this guy said, don't be a fag. That's what the quartering said. But I think that he really did strike a nerve with the quartering because, like I said, it's the same thing of how, lesbians live. Like, it's literally the same thing. He's just living his life, to be on YouTube, but he doesn't. That's it. Like, this is his line. Like, his line is this dog. Like, that's his baby. That's like the closest thing he has to a baby. And afterwards, like, he got into a spat with other people and he's like, well, you don't even know if I have kids. Well, actually, we do quartering. You've said it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've said it multiple times on the air. Like, here's an example.
Like, who's this movie for?
He's talking about the Snow White movie that the Daily Wire was making.
Or it's not for a 40-year-old man with no kids.
Yeah. So he says there, he's a 40-year-old man with no kids. So anyway, my point is I'm not heating on people who don't have kids. I just think it's really crazy that, like, the quartering, he has a wife, but he's living basically the same way a lesbian is. Like, his lifestyle is the same. He's got a big house, he's got a big dog, and that's it. And then you look at, like, right? It's just like, he's 50 years old and he's crying about the Snow White movie. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm 50, I don't want to be crying about the Snow White movie. It'd be okay maybe if he's like 15, 16, and I would even be more forgiving if he was in his 30s, but it's like, holy crap, 50? And it just makes you look at it and you go, I don't know. I don't really want to be on the internet. Like, I don't want to grow up to be this. It's, again, like that Bruce Willis movie, The Kid, right? Where he just says, like, I grew up to be a loser. It's like, I hope that's not, like, is this what happens to you after you spend too much time on YouTube? I don't know. So this is kind of, I guess, like my rant for the day, because I saw this and it's just kind of bizarre. It's very, very, very bizarre to me. And I just look at this and it says Az turns 50 birthday bash. And it's like, happy birthday, Az, 50 years of nothing. Thanks for taking the time to watch this clip. Catch me live on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of your day, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.